Hello everyone and welcome back to the tutorial series. In this video I'm going to be talking about audio anonymization, and in the next video I'll be talking about video anonymization. And you may be wondering, because I said in the introductory video, I said these videos were arranged in what I thought was quite a logical order. So you might be wondering, well, why have you put anonymization first? Why have you put anonymization before the video on making clips, for example? Well, the reason is that for the purposes of this tutorial series, this sample data is going to be my raw data. So if you like, this is the video that it was originally recorded without having done anything to it. So this is the video that I want to be making clips from. And given that, I think it makes sense to apply the anonymization settings first to the whole video and then make clips from that. Because if you make the clips and then do the anonymization, you have to apply the anonymization settings to each video individually, and that can get quite tedious, I find. So I prefer just to make a nice big master copy, if you like, with all the anonymization settings applied, and then start cutting from that rather than the other way around. Of course, if you've already made your clips, or you would prefer to do editing first, that's fine. Just remember that you're going to be bringing in clips instead of a long chunk of data to Shotcut to work on. So, okay, how do we do audio anonymization in Shotcut? Well, as I've already alluded to, this is going to be the one video where I'm going to have to step outside of Shotcut quite a bit, because there's simply no decent way of doing this within Shotcut that I've found. So we're going to use a different piece of software, and that piece of software is one that I'm sure many of you are already familiar with. It's Audacity. I'm sure, as I've said, I'm sure many of you are already familiar with it. I'm sure many of you already have it downloaded, or it's often installed on university computers as well, I find. But if you don't have Audacity, you can get it by going to, audacityteam.org. Again, I'll put a link in the description. And yeah, we go here, like the Shotcut website, nice big download button there on the front page, so click on that and then you can download the version that you need to download. Once again, I'm not going to walk through the entire installation process, I'm not that condescending. So yeah, find the version that you need and then download it. One thing that I should mention, and I only realized this quite recently actually, although there's not an explicitly portable version of Audacity in the same way that there is with Shotcut, you can put Audacity onto a USB stick, for example, and run it off a USB stick. And again, like Shotcut, I've done it and I found it to be quite a handy way of doing things. And once again, it's the same as the desktop version. So yeah, I found that to be quite a good way of doing things. And it's nice because it means you can have a little portable editing suite that you can carry around with you. So anyway, so download Audacity, and I'll just close Firefox completely actually. So download Audacity, and when you do that, so here we have the Audacity screen. Much like Shotcut, looks very complex, but we're only going to be using a small part of it. So how do we get our audio into Audacity? Because what we need to do, at least for the purposes of this video, I want to get the audio from the video, and I want to apply it to I want to get the audio from the video and I want to open it in Audacity. So how do I do that? Well, that's very, very simple. I go to export, and I've already talked about export settings briefly, but I'll just go back here. And this time, instead of using the YouTube setting, we're going to go down to the audio settings here. And these are the audio files that Shotcut can export in. I would say just use MP3 because it's standard. So MP3. So select the MP3 and then export file. And yep, so we go to desktop, and I'll call this tutorial audio unanonymized, and then we click save. And yes, don't remind me how little free space I have. So yeah, want to continue, and then up here you'll see, so this is the jobs window, and this is just going to give us the progress, and it's coming along quite quickly. It should be done within 25 seconds. So let me just close that. So yeah, so the audio there is exporting. While that's exporting, I should just mention that of course some people are going to have recorded their audio separately, so they're not going to be detaching audio from video. They're just going to be working with audio that they've recorded on a dictaphone or something like that. That's absolutely fine. I would say that this stage of the process obviously doesn't apply. You will be able to follow along once we get the audio into Audacity, and of course when we get to the final stage of the process where we're going to be attaching the audio back onto the video, you're going to need to actually synchronize your audio with your video, and you may have done that already in a different way. So I just want to make it clear that I'm aware that not everyone is going to be detaching audio from video, but for the purposes of this tutorial series, I'm working with a piece of video and I want to just get the audio directly from that video, which is always always a nice easy way of doing things anyway, because of course that means that the audio is automatically going to synchronize with the video. But anyway, so I'm going to close Shotcut now, and I'm going to go to Audacity. I'm going to open up Audacity, and much like Shotcut, two ways of getting our audio in. Either we can go to Open and navigate to our audio file, but of course the fun way of doing it, and yeah, there we go. Our audio is now in Shotcut, and it's ready to be anonymized.